Houston are still what I thought they were. I like that Reed Sheppard is playing well. Because I feel like offensively you need Reed. That's kind of where I'm at. This team doesn't have enough shooting outside of Kevin Durant. You need to play Reed Sheppard as much as possible. I understand the defense, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to put points on the board. And if you can't, and also if Ime Udoka is the defensive coach that people say he is, there's no way having one liability on the court should be this debilitating for you. Like, Reed Sheppard is a liability. I think most of us can agree on it.
He ain't worse than Sengun, Mars. He's not. He ain't worse than Sengun. Sengun is the fucking worst. He's the worst.
I'm not gonna say all that.
He is the worst.
But like at the end of the day, you should be able. A great defensive coach should be able to hide Reed Sheppard. Like,
I'm trying to be positive here, Jordan, but I want to box that dude sometime.
Mars,
I want to box that dude. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mars, the thing about Reed though is, and I'm not going to deny that he's not a liability. I think in today's NBA though, it gets overblown just because they're constantly trying to put him in action and pick on him and stuff like that. The thing I do like about Reed is he'll compete, but his anticipation and his hands are amazing, ridiculous. He gonna get a couple, like you gonna pick on him, but he gonna get a couple picks and a couple steals and a couple deflections.
And there's value to forcing turnovers for sure. Like there's, because I guess you to go the other way. There's a good transition team, so that's great. But at the end of the day, like Ime is meant to be a defensive mastermind. That's like, okay, the offense isn't going to be great, but Ime can scheme up great defense. But if him scheming up great defense is, I can't play bad defenders because then my defense is fried, then how good of a defensive coach really are you? Like, in my opinion, a great defensive coach doesn't need 5 great defenders to have a good defense.
That's
like at some point, you should be able to hide a Reed Sheppard. You should be able to mitigate Alperen Şengün's weaknesses. But instead, it's like anytime they're lackluster on defense, his solution is just take them out the game and then put in a switchable wing and hope for the best and switch everything. But it's like that's not exactly great coaching. I could
Reed is damn near neutral, to be honest with you, Mars, because as bad as he on defense, he give you something on offense if you letting him play. But I definitely agree with you about the whole Ime thing. As far as like, you're a defensive coach, like one thing you got to do, you should be able to turn every team into a defensive team, to be honest with you, because it's about scheme. It's like, it's not about individual defense a lot of times. It's about scheme. Like, can we scheme it up? If I know Reed's problem on defense is just his size. He's too small. So like, okay, well, I'm going to make Reed pressure the ball a little bit more, and then I have to have my defense help up a little bit earlier so we can kind of bait people in the traps. Like, we got to have a plan. I don't think Ime actually has a plan on defense. I think he relies too much on individual defensive capabilities. And it's like his demeanor is defense. But what's the plan? That would be my question.
What's this?
Can I ask you? I was just going to ask, do you believe there can be players who are so bad on defense that they could ruin a good defensive scheme? Like, is that a possibility?
I mean, it's
but that's usually due to a lack of effort within the scheme.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a high motor, no matter how limited you are, a good defensive coach can find ways to just make you hideable.
Yeah, basically. I call it knowing how to lose, Damo. That's what I call it. Knowing how to lose and knowing how you win. Like, if I know, for example, we'll keep using Reed. If I know Reed isn't like the biggest guy, well, I know the only way he can be effective by playing defense is trying to agitate guards. Maybe he can draw a little bit more offensive fouls. I would probably tell Reed, kind of get up in him and show the referee your hands and put pressure on them to where them guards put their head down. Boom, they hit him right in the chest, or he running somebody right into a charge. Because when they see Reed, eyes light up. Everybody want to attack him. As much as people are attacking Reed, we should see more charges being drawn. They in the Knicks, I'll use the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is number 1 in the league in drawing charges. Why? Like, we know he's a horrible defender, but at the end of the day, what can we do to get something out of him?
But
that's
the
all I'm saying.
size thing, Jordan, is the issue for me, because I don't think the size thing that you bring up, I don't think that's that much of a problem, because we got small guards in the league who can defend. Jamal Shed defends. Davion Mitchell defends.
But
right?
Yeah, they got a different physical makeup.
But here's the difference, though, Mars. The difference is that Reed,
175.
even if he's small, Mars, he will give me effort. He will get in the gaps. And so,
absolutely.
I mean, as a one-on-one defender, he's not great, right? But as an off-ball defender, right? As a one-on-one defender, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here, and I'm saying that he's not great. But yes, he's bad, absolutely. With that being said, though, I will get the effort that's necessary in order for us to have a chance at this possession. He won't just die on plays. Like he'll try to get around screens. Like he will try to close out. Right? He will put some type of ball pressure on guys. Jordan, the biggest problem that we have is when Sengun gets beat. Sengun is a part of my interior defense. And when he gets beat, he's basically just leaving it up to Jabari Smith. He's leaving it up to Kevin Durant, which is why these guys are looking at him when he turns around and looks at them like this. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we're having with Houston. Offensively, however, the more I watch this kid, Reed Sheppard, boy, Mark Price look like he coming back to life.
chill
On
defense.
Back to life.
On defense with Sengun, I realized with him, it's not even about him getting beat. I'm gonna just be honest. Sengun don't pay attention on defense.
He's clueless, Jordan. You don't know what we doing.
Like Jabari yells at him a lot of times for like not paying attention. Like if you just watch them play, he's so late to a switch. Like it'll be an action coming up, whether he calls the screen out, he'll call it out so late that Jabari can't even like maneuver through a screen that's coming. Like that's what I realized with Sengun. Or if he's supposed to be up, he's so late. Like Sengun just so how he is on offense with his late reactions, he's the same way on defense. Like he's just late. So it means he's not paying attention, to be honest.
What you'll notice is like last year that was an issue, but like Fred used to hold his hands basically through possessions.
Yeah.
Like Fred was like, and so he had a good defensive year last year, in my opinion, Şengün.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of that was because Fred was like practically walking him through where he needed to be, when he needed to make a rotation, pre-rotate, all of those things. So he was very often in position. And I think when he's in position, he can make plays. Like he's not the one of these floor-bound bigs that can't make any plays at the rim. So like when you have someone who's like a coach on the floor, basically, that makes it easier. But now like they don't really have that. Fred's not out there anymore. It's a very young team. So you're kind of relying on Şengün to like read the game himself as like that backline guy. And that's just, he's not that. But I still think that once again, like Ime should be able to play bad defenders and make it work.
Even if he does, though, Mars, really quickly, Damo, even if he does, Mars, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say the uncomfortable thing. I don't think Sengun is that smart. I don't think he's that smart.
I'm not afraid of that.
You got the Damo, not just Damo.
I see why we're seen as a Şengün hate pod, by the way.
You guys have seen players that they get by a lot of times on athleticism, flight, all of that good stuff. But when it's time to slow down and start thinking the game, and you see the mistakes that they make and how elementary it is, you question how smart these people are. And when I watch Sengun, I think to myself, I don't think he's that smart. I don't.
So KD was talking about the wrong teammate in that message. That's crazy.
Jabari has been hooping though. Lately, Jabari has been hooping.
Jabari has picked up,
and that's what he needed. And Kevin Durant knew that.
But did I say that?
Oh, so we calling that leadership now? We calling that leadership?
That's new era leadership right there. That's new era.
I said Jabari should take that and he should run with it. It should be a challenge every day. Like all that fandom to KD? Hell no. Pick it up, because your guy that you just call, that you fanning over, shit, he talking shit about you. We ain't friends no more. You're not my hero no more.
Jordan Kobe would have did that in the locker room. KD knew he got to do it on social media. Hey man, it's a new era, new day. All I would say is though, Mars, in your explanation, just from what we heard, you don't believe. Well, would you believe that is the case for a lot of people who are just lackluster on defense? I know when y'all brought up motor, having a high motor can make up for it or whatever the case is. Even if a guy has a good motor, if he is, as Chilltown like to say about Sengun, not that smart, wouldn't that be an issue?
Yeah, it's for sure an issue. Like there's things that it's gonna be like, ideally, if you're gonna have a bad defender, ideally you want them to be aware and high energy. Like that's like the idea. If you're gonna have a bad defender, like Steph Curry, for example, Steph became, in my opinion, a passable defender because he was smart and had high effort. So he was able to just, within a scheme, be fine. And you weren't really bleeding too much value. But then you have the other players who are bad defenders, but then aren't the most aware and don't give high effort. And it's like, yeah, no matter what, you're basically impossible to hide, because anytime you get brought into the action, if your responsibility is to hedge and recover, it's going to be a low effort hedge, which means they're going to get around your hip anyway. Or you're going to be slow to recover. They're going to beat you on the closeout. Like, so if you have no redeeming qualities on defense, you get to the point where you just can't play. Like I would say Cam Thomas, for example. Like Cam Thomas has 0 redeeming qualities on defense. Like there's not one thing you can look at and be like, oh, he can do that. It's like the best case scenario is if he's fully locked in on that possession, he can guard the ball fine. That's the best you're going to get. But 99% of the time is going to be unaware of the ball, not going to force any turnovers. The energy is going to be low. And then anytime you get brought in the action, you're going to be free eats. So if you have nothing to provide, no amount of effort is going to save you. But for the most part, I don't think there's many people like that in the league anyway. And Reed is definitely not one of them. And I would say Şengün isn't the lowest effort. It depends on like the game. I think when he was dealing with the ankle stuff, the energy like depleted. But for the most part, I would say his motor's fine. It's just I don't think he's the best physically, defensively.
That's who DeAndre Ayton is.
I still think they should make it work.
DeAndre Ayton is that coworker that just shows up to work. You're not gonna get much from him, but he'll show up to work.
I've been telling you about that for years.
Yes, you have.
I mean,
yes, you have been. Yep. Yes, you 100 had you 100.
But yeah, Ayton's a tough one defensively because like in Phoenix, like 20. I would say Ayton's best years were like 22 and 23. He was good on defense. Like he was a good defender.
Rebounder.
But it's like ever since then, it's just been downhill, really. But like, I don't know.
But on the flip side to that, I mean, a bailout, because Houston's offense isn't great, but to have a guy like Kevin Durant to go to when things get rough is a pretty good thing. Because Kevin Durant is almost guaranteed to give you buckets. I mean, I'm watching last night where him and Reed were running this high screen action, and Reed gave him enough space to operate where Reed could catch and shoot, but they couldn't help because with Reed knocking down that jump shot, there's so much distance that you have to get to KD, and he get to that right elbow, it was cash, and he was doing that all night long. So I mean, offensively, KD looked great last night. I mean, he looked really good. He looked really great last night. That Orlando team outside of Paolo, I mean, their offense is not good at all. And I thought
Paolo ain't been good
outside of Paolo.
Well, yeah, I mean,
his ass don't be good.
And that says a lot about Orlando. Think about that.
Desmond Bane has been better offensively than Paolo.
I really don't know what to do with him, Mars. I really wish
I acknowledge he's been amazing. What you mean?
I really like it's
Paolo been playing like shit over the last month.
It's the slingshot, jump shot. It's the short. I mean, that shit is cash.
Just hating on Desmond.
I just want to make sure we get it.
Desmond Bane's been their best player for like 3 months.
He's been. I really don't know what to do with this dude. Like he ain't super nice with the pill. That jump shot looks weird, but it's cash.
That shit go in though.
Yeah, that shit is cash. He's giving you like 28 a game.
He be finishing too.
And then Paolo gets downhill. KD is looking around at the defense trying to figure out, are you guys going to help me with this guy or what? What's going on here? But Orlando's got some struggles when it comes to offense, and I felt like Houston took advantage of that last night.
I don't think Orlando a good team though. By the way,
yeah,
I just don't think they're a good team.
Swipe and Ox, I'd like for you guys to tap in on how you guys feel about the Houston Rockets. It's February 27th. We are about to hit the final stretch of the season. The Rockets are the 3 seed in the West. What's you guys' thoughts? How do you feel about this team heading into the final stretch of the season?
Good team. Good players. They have their own issues, but they're still going to be a playoff team, and they'll be competitive. I think Sengun's had a very up and down year, but he's, overall been a very good positive for them. I think Amin's been good this year for them. Jabari, I think, has a bad rap, but I think he makes some really good defensive plays and key shots for this team. He's just not super consistent. Steven Adams going down also changed things. Obviously, not even bringing a Fred VanVleet because there's no point. They've done a lot of really good things. I think KD has had a very underrated season. We were arguing him and Jaylen Brown a few weeks ago, and I just think that, if you just look at how KD's played and how we backpack for that team, I legitimately don't know where they would be if they kept Jalen Green and like Dylan and they didn't make those trades. They would be obviously a much, much worse team. So this trade has worked out perfectly for them, and they got everything that they could have asked for from Kevin Durant. And yesterday, obviously, that 40 game was insane. And, for KD to do how he did it, especially now the Magic choked a little bit too. But he's been great. Like, I think Ime's had a very, I think Rockets fans are not in love with him. Some of the things that the Celtics fans felt about him, he's running into this year. He can definitely be very stuck in his own ways. He has a refusal at times to play with Reed Sheppard for the reasons that Chill and others were outlining just now. But Yeah, man. I mean, given the circumstances for you not to have two of your best players for the entire season or half the season now, yeah, that's tough, man. Like, but they have persevered and overcome it. So I think they deserve a lot of credit. I think the best players on the team deserve a lot of credit. Torrey Eason has had a good run since he's been back. You know, DFS has been whatever, but they really have like a really, really, really good roster, and they're performing well. And obviously going into the season, we thought that was going to be a top 5 team in the NBA, period. So it sucks that they've had so many things go wrong for them. But, you know, similarly for some other teams, they've gone through injury, but they've still been able to stay a top 4 seed now in the West, which is huge. So shout out to them.
Technically, record-wise, they're a top 5 team in the league. I think we just have Rockets fans up here who, you know, I don't want to say over-exaggerate, but they have weaknesses. They have glaring weaknesses. And I think we have Rockets fans and people to tap in that, you know, be mad because they're Rockets fans. And I think that just kind of gets boiled over.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops all hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.